Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of digital system design. In the last session, we understood what is a digital system, what are the hierarchies of the digital system design, combination logic, what is sequential logic, circuits, we understood that part, and we comes to the what is the sequence of designing a task. So what is the sequence actually? Let's recall that one. So sequence is first the problem statement will be given, then we need to construct the truth table, and then we need to derive the switching equations from the truth table, and if any needed we need to be simplified the switching equations, okay, and then we need to write the logical diagram. That is what the sequence actually, okay. Now let's move to we have already started with the conversion of the problem statement to the truth table, construction of the truth table, how to construct a truth table from the problem statement. For that we have seen some 5 steps actually, okay. So let's recall that one actually, 5 steps. The first one is what? We need to identify the inputs and outputs from the problem statement, how many inputs are there and how many outputs, okay. And then the second point is what? We need to be assign the labels, okay, assign the letter, assign if we call as assign a mnemonics, okay, that we need to be assigned a symbols for the variables, what we are going to take input and output, and then we need to see the how many combinations of the inputs will be there, okay. According to the number of inputs we need to construct the truth table. So that's what we have seen, the 2 to the power of x equals to y, and then we will need to be construct the truth table, and then we need to write the output, okay. To understand that part, so let's take an example, okay, let's take a problem we are going to be understand in a better way. The problem is design a combinational logic truth table so that the output is generated indicating when a majority of 3 input is true. So this is the problem actually. First step is what actually? We need to identify the how many number of inputs and the outputs, okay. So by seeing these statements actually we will get to know that one we have 3 inputs and the 1 output, okay. That is what? 3 inputs and 1 output. Second step. So what is the second step? We need to assign the labels for the inputs and the output. So since we have 3 inputs, okay, I will indicate with as x0, x1 and the x2, okay. For the output, 1 output, so I will indicate it with a y. So 3 input, x0, x1, x2, 1 output, y. Now we need to construct the truth table. So I will going to write the truth table here. Truth table for the first problem. So we have the input and the 3 inputs, and so I will write x2, x1, x0. This is input and we have a 1 output, and this is y. So that is complete. So we need to see that one third step, 2 to the power of 3, that is will be 8 combinations will be there. So truth table will having 8 combinations will be there, okay. So that what we see that one. So usually we will going to write with the x0 will be always will going to be in the rightmost, because the first bit indicating as a first bit. So that will be the x0, x1, x2. Okay. So now see that one actually here. So x0, so we have 8 combinations. Which are all the 8 combinations? So that's what? 0, 0, 0, first one. Next 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Hope you know that one, how to write this one, okay, because you already studied in the basic electronics. So next is, this corresponds to the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and the 7. So 0 to 7, that is corresponds to the 8 combinations. So now let's see we need to write the output, constructed the input part, okay, and the last step is what? We need to assign the output 1 where according to the reading the problem statement, right. So let's see that one. So what is the problem statement will going to be read? When majority of 3 input is true, then only output will be enabled. So output will be enable, output when will be output will be indicated. So that output is generated, that's what output generated. When output will be generated? So when majority of the 3 input is true. So in these 3 inputs, when we have majority of the 3 means what? When we have a 2 input, any of the x2, x1, x0, in this any of the 2 inputs are enable or true, then output will be generated. So let's see that one. 0, 0, 0. We don't have any one is true. That means there is no majority of the input is true. So output will be not generated. Not generated means what? It will be 0. Output is generated means output will be true. Output is true means output is 1. Okay. Next 0, 0, 1. See, majority will be the 0. That is false. That is not true. So that means output will be 0. Let's comes to that one. 0, 1, 0. Again, majority of the bits here will be the 0 only. So output will be 0. Next 0, 1, 1. See, 0, 1, 1. Majority of the input is true here actually. Majority of the inputs are 1. 0, 1, 1. So 2 inputs are 1. So in the 3, majority will be the 2 always. So 2, 1 will be there and 1, 0 is there. So that indicates output will be 1. So now output is generated when majority of the 3 input is true. Majority of the 3 inputs is 2 true ones is there. So indicates to the output is 1. So like that 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, because again here also in these two cases also majority of the inputs are true. So the output will be true. That means logic 1. So 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is how we are going to get the truth table. We have constructed the truth table for this problem statement. Okay, hope you understood. So next we will move to understand in a better way. Let's take up the one more problem. So let's see the second problem. Second problem, develop a truth table for a system which accepts 2-bit binary number. So we have a 2-bit binary number. To keep in mind 2-bit binary number, okay, and generates 3 outputs. Generate 3 outputs. Okay, generate 3 outputs. The first output indicate when 2 numbers differs by the 2. So 3 outputs are there, where the first output, when the first output will be enable, or when the first output will be a true, when the condition is what? When 2 numbers differs in 2. So the input 2 numbers differs in the 2, then the first output will be generated. Okay. So next second condition is the second output is indicates when the 2 numbers are identical. So second output will be generated when 2 numbers are identical. Let's move to the third output. What is the conditions in the third output? And the third output indicates when the first number exceeds the second number. So first number exceeds the second number. So this is the problem statement. So by seeing the problem statement, we will get to know that one actually there are 2 inputs, but each are 2-bit. That is the one thing we need to understand. So assuming that when there A and B are the 2 inputs, but again A itself a 2-bit and B itself is a 2-bit. So we will take as a A0, A1, and here we will take a B0 and B1, assigning the variables. So again if you see the output, okay, this generates 3 outputs. So outputs are 3. So that indicates the output will be Y0, Y1 and Y2. So 3 outputs. Let's construct the truth table for this. And even the condition is given when the Y0 will be true when A minus or A difference B is equals to 2. When the A difference by 2, then only the Y0 will be enabled. When the Y1 will be enabled or Y1 will be true, so that is second output. When the two numbers are identical, that means A equals to B. And the Y2 will be output when the first number exceeds the second number, that indicates A is greater than B. See here, A difference B is equals to 2. Difference means both the condition B minus A or A minus 2, but should be equals to the 2. Don't having any negative value here. We are not going to consider that one. Just the difference is 2. We are going to enable the output. Let's construct the truth table for this. So inputs A0, A1, A0, A bits, and then one is what the B1, B0, another number 2 bit. So that's why. Okay, and the outputs Y0, Y1, and the Y2. See, since we have a 4 bits actually, input is the 2 input only, but when we take consider to the individual, will be the 4 inputs are there, A1, A0, B1, B0, and the 3 outputs Y0, Y1, Y2. Let's construct the truth table. Since we are having a 4, that is what the 2 to the power of x, that is equals to y, that means 2 to the power of 4, that will be 16 combinations we are going to get. So what are the 16 combinations? That is, we are going to vary from 0, 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1. So let's construct the truth table. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. That's corresponding to the decimal values equivalent to the 4-bit binary. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can, I will going to erase this line so that we don't have any confusions. Okay. Oh, sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the 15. Now let's see the output. So first output, when the first Y0 will be enabled when the two numbers differs in by 2. So let's write the output table. So let's see, the first I will complete the Y0, then I will take the Y1, then I will take the Y2. So when the Y0 will be enabled, when the differences between the two numbers is 2. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 1, 1. So that is whatever it may be. So difference will be 1 minus 0 or 1. So difference is 1 actually. So output will be 0, output will be 0. Again 0, 2, yes, 0, 2, output will be having a enable. So that is what will be, output will be 1 here actually. So next 0, 0, 1, 1, difference is 3. So actually indicates what? First output will be, now two numbers differs in 2 or more actually, 2 or more, okay. So that's what, the first output will be when the differences between the two numbers is 2 or more. So that means 0, 0, 1, 0, difference is 2, output will be 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, difference is more than 2, so that is again output will be 1. Next 0, 1, 0, 0, 1 difference is 1, so 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, that is what equal to difference is 0, so 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, difference is 1, again output will be 0, 0, 1, 3, so difference is 2, output will be 1. Next, here 2, 0, 2 minus 0 difference is 2, so output will be 1. Next 2 minus 1, so differences will be 1, output will be 0. And the 2 difference is 0, output is 0. 2 3 difference is 1, so output will be 0. Next 3 0 difference is more than 2, so output will be 1. 3 1 difference is 2, so output is 1. 3 2 difference is 1, so output will be 0. 3 3 differences will be 0, so output will be 0. So this is how we are going to generate the output for the y0. So let's see the y1. So if I take the y1, what is the y1? So two numbers of identical. So then y1 equals to a equals to b. See 0 0 identical values 1, output will be generated. 0 here 0 0 here 0 1, so output will be 0 because not identical value. Okay, keep in mind, enter these two together will be the b, enter this together is a. Keep in mind. Okay, next 0, so output is 0 0 0 identical 1 not identical 0. I hope you are understanding. 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 2 2 1 then 0 0 0 0 1. Okay, so this is how y1 will going to be generated. Now let's come to the y2. Okay, so let's look on to the when the third output y2 will be generated. So when the first number exceeds the second number. So when the first number a is greater than b. See 0 0 both are identical, there is no one is exceeding, so output will not be generated, so output will be 0. So next 0 0 0 1, here b is greater than the a, right? So output will be again a 0 because 0 0 and this value is 0 1 1, so 0 is lesser than the 1, so output won't be generated here y2, so again it will be 0, again 0 0 0 0, next 0 1 0 0. So a is 1, b is 0, so a is greater than b, so output will be generated. Okay, then a is 1, b is 1, so output will generate equal values. Okay, a is 1, b is 2, not going to generate. A is 1, b is 3, again not going to generate. A is 2, b is 0, so output will be generated. 2 here is 0, a is greater than b. Next 2 1, so a is greater than b. 2 2, no. 2 3, no. 3 0, yes, output generates. 3 1, output generates. Then 3 2, again output will going to be generated, and 3 3, no. So this is how we are going to construct the a truth table from the given problem statement. So this is the problem statement given actually. Like this, for any problem statement, we can construct the truth table. Now we will move to the next topic. We have taken the problem statement. And then we understood how to convert the problem statement into the truth table. Alright. So we have solved the two problems. I hope you have understood that part. Okay. So next, from the truth table, okay, how to derive the switching equations. So what is the next step actually? Switching equations. We need to write the switching equations from the truth table. How to do that one? Okay, let's see that one actually. Okay, let's come to that one. What is the switching equation? So switching equation defines all the conditions under which the output is logic 1 for a truth table. In a truth table, so what are the switching equations? We are going to give that one. It defines all the conditions under which the output is logic 1. So let's take an example of an half adder, since you people are more comfort in the half adder because you already have studied that one. Half adder, if I take that one, so half adder is what? A and the B, two inputs, and the two outputs sum and the carry. Okay, so let's write the two table 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Okay, so outputs are sum is 0, carry is 0, sum is 1, carry is 0, sum 1, carry 0, sum 1 and the carry 1. So if you see this is a two table, then how to derive the switching equation from this one? Okay, so what does the switching equation defines? It defines that one conditions, all the conditions will correspond to the logic 1. So since we have two outputs here, so for the output logic, but here are two output logic are there. So that means we are going to have two logical equations, two switching equations for this two table. So let's consider for the sum. Okay. So if you take the for the sum, so what is the switching equation? So when the corresponding output will be, so here there is 0 1, yeah. So when corresponding to the sum, so if you see when the sum will be logic 1, where the conditions of the inputs where A and B are 0 1 and the 1 0. So that for that one, so the switching equations will be sum equals to A bar B plus another is what? A B bar. So hope you know that one, how to write that one, okay, because writing this is, we are writing in a mean terms actually. So what is the mean term? We will get to know that one, okay. Since we are writing in a mean terms means when you are writing the output for the corresponding logic 1, always we need to write the 0 in a complement form and we need to write the 1 in a same form actually. So here we have a 0 in their input, so we need to take the in a complement form, that is why we are going to write a bar. So here 1 is there, we are going to take the same B variable, okay. Next, if you have a multiple logical ones, we need to add the sums actually, we need to sum all the product terms. So this is called as a product term actually. This we call as a one product term or a mean term. Okay, we will get to know that one. The definitions we will get to know. Okay. So this is corresponding to one logic 1 equation. So correspondingly we have one more logic 1 for the output, same output. So that will be sum actually. Sum, and then we will go to write the what is another conditions for the sum is 1. So another condition is 1 0. So when we have when we are writing that one, when 1 is there, we need to write the same variable. When we have a 0, that will be writing in a complement form. So that why, so sum will be equals to A bar B plus A B bar. So that is how the sum equations will be got. Similarly for the carry, C equals to A B. So these are the switching equations actually. So this is how we will go to derive. So we need to understand the switching equation in a more completely. Okay, to understand the switching equations more completely, we need to understand some terminologies. Okay, to derive the switching equations. Okay, so this is a simple one. When we have come to the complex, actually, we need to understand some terminologies. Let's understand some terminologies for the switching equations. So the different terminologies are, so there's a literal, product term, or we call it mean term, sum term, max terms, and VR. Okay, let's come to the what is the literal. So literal is an Boolean variable. So what we have taken a we call as a variable. So instead of calling a variable, so in the switching equations we call as an literal. So literal is an Boolean variable. So example, we can give A, B, A bar. It can be in the complement form also. No, don't think basically only a variable, even the variable in the complement form also. Okay. So that means, so A bar or B, all those will be we call as a literal. Next, this comes to the second, that is what is the product term or a mean term. So what is a product term or a mean term? So product or mean term is a logical AND of multiple literal or a literal. Okay, so multiple literal. So this is what AB. So if you say here actually this one AB is a product term. So logical or of a logical AND of a multiple literal. So example, that is what AB. It may be A bar B. Okay, or even be the B bar C something, B bar B bar, sorry B bar C bar, multiple. It may be the complement form or in the normal form. Okay, so that one. And even A is also we complete a literal also we can consider as an product term, because we know that A into 1, A and 1 is also equal to A. So the A into 1 will be can be represented as simply we can representing A. So that's why we can even be considered as an a literal is also a product term we can consider. Okay, let's come to the sum term. Sum term is also called as a max term. So sum term is what? Logical OR of multiple literal or a literal. So example, that's what A plus B, B plus C bar, and these are called as sum terms. Okay. So and even it may be any term, because A plus 1 will be again equal to the A. So that's why we can call as an A also a sum term. Hope you are able to understand. Next, another terminology is what the sum of product. Usually we call as an SOP. So what is the sum of product? Sum of product is what is the logical OR of multiple product terms. So multiple product terms will be connected or will be summed together. The complete expression is called as an sum of product. So example, that's what's AB plus BC bar plus AC, like that. So whatever the expressions we are going to write. So this is what we can give. So the another best example for the sum of product will be the here. So we have written the sum of product form only. The expression we have written in the for the half adder is what the sum of product. A bar B plus A B bar. So this is what is an half adder. So this is what the example we can give. Okay. So sum of, usually the complete equations will be represented in a that what function of input variables. Since we have a 3 variables, we represent as A comma B comma C, that is equals to this is the equation. So this is how usually generally we represented in a complete switching equation or a Boolean equation. Okay, or even we can say logical equation. Okay. So the sum of product SOP. So this is how will be the. So next terminology is what the product of sum. So what is the product of sum? So it is the logical AND of multiple OR terms. So there is a complement of this one actually. So we can say something related to, here will be the logical OR of multiple AND terms. Okay, logical OR of multiple AND terms, where here will be the logical AND of multiple OR terms. So example, logical AND of multiple OR terms, A plus B AND of B plus C bar, like this. So this is an expression. This expression can be written as an product of sum. So for this one example, for the fifth one, so we can take example f of A comma B comma C. This is a function sum. Okay, that is equals to, that's what, A plus B, B plus C bar. Okay, so this is what is the product of sum. So product of sum terms. So this is what is the product of sum. Usually this also will be named as a POS. So we call as a sum of product as a SOP. Here the product of sum will be usually we call as an POS. And next is the one more terminology is what, canonical SOP, or even we call as an canonical mean terms. Okay, what is the canonical SOP? So we already understood the what is SOP. Okay, let's see the what is the canonical SOP. So canonical SOP is a special form of an SOP only. Okay, SOP expressions only. But what indicates here is the complete set of mean terms, complete set of the product terms that defines when an output variable is logic 1. So that will going to give the complete set of the variables or the terminologies, mean terms, when the output function is a logic 1. So when we are writing the expression for only for the logic 1, then that equations, whatever the Boolean equations will get, that is will going to be called as a canonical SOP. Okay. So for the example, if you take the half adder itself, so whatever we have written S equals to A bar B plus A B bar, it is an canonical SOP. Okay, that expression will get canonical SOP based on. Okay, even we call that what? This is because we are going to give the completely variable when the logic is 1. So that means, so here the each mean terms, how you got the each mean terms when you write in the canonical SOP, that what? Each mean terms corresponding to the rows in the 2 table when the output is logic 1. That is how we have written, right, actually. So that what? AB sum 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0. So because only when the logic is 1, the corresponding rows of the 2 table we have taken, that is the mean terms are represented. That is what is the canonical SOP. So let's see the what about the canonical POS or a canonical max term. So this is what the same as the canonical SOP, but here we need to write the expression for the logic 0. So only we need to write for the logic 0, that what? Complete set of mean terms that define, complete set of the max terms will come actually. Complete set of the max terms, okay, complete set of the max terms that defines when the output variable is logic 0. That is what will be the POS, or canonical max term equations. Okay. So let's take the example. I will take the same example of adder. Okay, we'll take only the sum just for the understanding purpose. 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 and 1 1 is the 0. Now how to write the canonical max term? So here we need to look for the output should be logic 0. That is what here. So each mean terms corresponds to the row to table where the output is 1. That is for the mean terms. So for the max terms, each max terms corresponds to the row in the 2 table where the output must be logic 0. So that means for the output is logic 0, we need to write the max terms for the corresponding row. Okay, corresponding input in the 2 table. So how to write the max terms? Max terms is what in the form of the sum terms. Okay, so that means here when you consider the max term actually, so when we have a logic 0 is there, that will be considered in a normal form. When we have a logic 1 is there, that will be written in a complement form. So that is what in the reverse to the actually we can writing the product terms or a mean terms. So in the here logic 1 for the same 1 is there, so we written as a equals to a bar we have taken, here b we taken as a b. Because when we have a 0, we have taken a complement. But here, when we are writing the max terms, when we have a 1, we need to take a complement. That is the case. So that means what will be the sum expression? Canonical POS. So what is the canonical POS for this example? So a 0 is there. When we have a 0, we should not take any complement actually. So that means, so this will be sum term, max terms. So that will be a plus b. Okay. Next, we have one more. Yes. So that means we will have and operation will come actually. 0 is there. So here 1 1 is there. 1 1 means we need to take in a complement. So that is what a bar plus b bar. So this is the canonical max term form for the of adder sum. We have taken example for the sum actually. Okay. So this is how we will going to write. See these two equations. So this is the canonical mean term equation and this is the canonical max term equation. So in the max term, when we are writing the max term, we will look the output for the logic 0. Okay, we look only for the logic 0 we are going to look, and when we are writing the mean terms, we are going to look for the logic 1. So when writing the max terms, keep in mind that one. When you are writing the max terms, we will take the complement for the logic 1. When you are writing the mean terms, we will take the complement for the logic 0. Okay. So these are the terminologies, we should know this one. Okay. With these terminologies, let's understand the switching equation in depth. Okay. So let's move to that point. Okay. Let's understand the complete of this mean terms, max terms or canonical expressions by taking an example. So here I have taken the problem, first problem that what we have solved, that is in the majority of the input is true. So we turn the 2 table, we got the output. So I have written here actually. Okay. Now, what are the mean terms corresponding to this one? I am writing the complete mean terms. I am not writing for the output logic actually. Okay. Just for the writing the mean terms corresponding to input. So what is the mean terms for the when the input is 0 0 0? So that is what will be equals to a bar, b bar, c bar. Similarly 0 0 1. Because when you are writing the mean terms, keep in mind as I already said, when you are writing the mean terms, when we have a logic 0, that should be take a complement form. Okay, when you are writing the mean terms, that means product terms. So a, b, c. So here we have all the terms are 0. So that's why we will take in a complement form. A bar, b bar, c bar. Similarly for 0 0 1, a bar, b bar, c should be not a complement because c is logic 1. Okay, so hope you can understand that part when writing the mean terms. Similarly, if you are writing the max terms, then when we have logic 1, that should be take a complement. Okay, so 0, 0, 0 is there, that will go to write as a plus b plus c. So for this one, for 0, 0, 1, a plus b plus c bar. Hope you can understand. Okay, similarly, let's write for the complete table. So here is what corresponds to a bar b c bar, a b bar c bar. Next for the 1, 0, 0, a bar b c bar, and this is a bar b c, a bar b c, a b bar c bar, and this for the 1, 0, 1, a b bar c, 1, 1, 0, a b c bar, 1, 1, 1, a b c. Okay, next for the max terms, that what already we have completed 2, so 0, 1, 0, so this corresponds to a plus b bar plus c. Next 0, 1, 1, a plus b bar plus c bar, then 1, 0, 0, a bar plus b plus c. Next 1, 0, 1, a bar plus b plus c bar. Next 1, 1, 0, a bar plus b bar plus c, and then 1, 1, 1, a bar plus b bar plus c bar. So this what will be the mean terms and max terms. Okay, now let's write the equation, canonical equation for this output equation, for this two table. That means we need to look for the output equation. So that means, so f of a comma b comma c, the function a b c, for this function, for the given statement or for the given statement, what will be the canonical mean terms expression? I will go to write the first mean term expression. So when you writing the mean term expression means we need to look the logical one output, and we need to write the corresponding variable, corresponding input combinations. What is the corresponding mean terms? Okay, let's take a corresponding mean terms we need to be write. With the, when you have multiple logical ones, we need to be add the all the mean terms. Okay, that means, so what is the output y? So y equals to, that is equals to y, and that is equals to, what is that one? So logical 1 is there, 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1 means what? A bar b c. Plus we have a one more 1 is there. So what is the 1, 0, 1? That corresponds to a b bar c. Next logical 1, 1, 1, 0, that corresponds to a b c bar. Next 1 is there, plus a b c. So this is what the canonical mean term expression, okay, for the logical function what we have. Similarly, let's write the canonical max term expression. Okay, so f of a comma b comma c is equals to y. Okay, so when we're writing the max term expression, we need to look for the logic 0. Keep in mind. So we need to write the output expression. We need to look only for the 0 terms. Where we have the output is 0, we need to look for the corresponding max terms, and we need to write the equation. Okay, so 0 is there, so here corresponds to the a plus b plus c. Next, and next one more 0 is there, so 1, 0, 0, 1 corresponds to the a plus b plus c bar. Next one more 0 is there, corresponds to the a plus b bar plus c. And next we have one more 0 here, 1, 0, 0, that is equals to the a bar plus b plus c. So these are the max terms expression, canonical max term, and this is the canonical mean term. So we will write mean term form. This is the mean term form, and this is in the max term form. Max term form. Okay, we will see the example. So how to write the canonical mean term form and canonical max term form. If you see the canonical mean term form and a max term form, actually they are related. Actually, they are both are logically same. Okay, to understand the both equations are logically same, I will take one more example. I will take an half adder because simple is there. Okay, so that's why I will take an half adder example. Half adder. So A, B, sum and the carry. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Right? Okay, so let's write the canonical mean term form. So that is what is the sum actually? You see the sum, that is we need to look only for the logic one. Hope you know that one. So 0 1 corresponds to the a bar b, one more term, so plus, so next logic one is what, 1 0, that is equals to the a b bar, right? For the carry, c equals to a b. So this is in the mean term form. Let's come to the max term form. So we need we need to look for the logic 0. So when you look for the logic 0, so what is the sum actually? So sum, so these two in the mean term. Okay, so let's write for the max term. Sum is equals to a plus b. Okay, and when we have one more term, so product, and next when another input output is 0, the corresponding input is 1 1, so that is equals to a bar plus b bar. Okay, so what I am going to be tell that one, both equation, these two are logically same actually. Okay, so these are both are logically same actually. What is logically same is, if you simplify this equation, automatically you will go get the same expression actually. Okay, to understand that one, let's simplify this one by using the Boolean algebra. Let's simplify. So the sum equals to, let's multiply these two. Okay, this corresponds to a into a bar. A, I will go to multiply with this term, and then plus, and then I will go to multiply with another term. So here I am applying the associative law, that's it. A into a bar, then a b bar, next b will be multiplied with this term, so plus, that is equal to b a bar, next we want to multiply here, so b p bar. If you see this one actually, we know that a into a bar is what? 0, and again b into b bar 0. According to the Boolean law, we know that any term will be multiplied and with its complement, automatically this will be equals to 0. So that means the sum will be equals to, this will be 0 and this is 0 according to that. So what will be the sum actually? A b bar plus b a bar, b a bar. If you see this sum and this sum, both are same. So that's what we can say. The mean term and max terms actually, if you're writing for the same logical or a same output, and both are will be the logically same. If you take an 1-2 table, if you write the max term and the mix term, both are logically same. Okay, so writing in a max term expression or writing in a mean term expression is left to us actually. Okay, but always we'll going to write with the mean term expression, because we'll go to simplifications or will be a little bit easy when you consider the mean terms. This is the max term. So if you simplify this one, you will get the same, that one. Similarly, we can prove for the even for the carry also. Okay, but I am not going to prove now that one because it will take much time. So that's why I hope you can understand this part. So mean term expression, the max terms are both are same, logically same.